Hi guys, it's Chandra. I hope you had a great weekend. I did. I was super busy. Super busy. I don't even know why, but I came up with a bunch of little projects that I did and wanted to get done, and it was a really good weekend. I still didn't get to make my bolsters. This is the first time I got in my sewing room this weekend. I did make a wreath, though, a spring wreath for my front door. And because yesterday was so beautiful and springy here, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to wreath it up. So I had a grapevine wreath that my friend's husband had made for me because they have grapevines. And I did it with bumblebees. And I had this bumblebee ribbon with a gingham, and it turned out really cute. I'm really happy with it. Right now, I had to look. I'm making some bias tape out of the scraps left over. Let me show you guys. So I cut my rectangles for the bolster. Cut my rectangles to, I think it ended up being like 45. So that'll make it like 44 inches wide. And then I made it 15 inches for the height. That'll make it 14. So 14 by 44, which I think will be a nice little bolster size. And then I had the leftover strips. So I cut them down into squares. And I'm making my own bias tape out of it. I had to look at a refresher video every single time. I don't know why, but I always forget like a key little thing. But what I'm doing now is I took my squares that I cut. You cut them in 45-degree angles. Here, I'll show you. You take that. You cut your square then at 45-degree angles. I really need to get a better camera situation here. So I'm going to do this. And, oops. And then you take your little flag, okay? And then take your other flag and you make it so that there's a V in the center. So like that, okay? And then you stitch it together. You cut out the width. I think I'm going to do like a 2-inch, which allows room for the piping. Again, this is my first attempt at piping. And I'm guessing it should leave me with like 1/2 inch seam allowance to tuck inside the pillow. So once I have all my little bias binding cut and then put together into one strip, then I can add my rope in the middle and sandwich it, stitch it down, stick it between the two long pieces, and make a nice little bolster for my bench. I told you guys I would tell you my little story about what sort of got me into sewing again. And a lot of it came down to my kids were grown. I have sons, beautiful, wonderful sons that I love dearly. And, you know, I was a mom at 21. And I had 2 sons in my 30s, 2 sons in my 20s. I had only been a mother. And, you know, I worked and everything like that. But, like, I was like, what do I do with myself? Because when you're a mom of that many kids, you're always busy. Always. And even if you're not busy, you're still busy. Because while you're not, if you're taking a minute, stuff's building up. So, and then I'm remarried, and my husband wasn't doing great. He his health was, oops, hold on. Let me get my, maybe I can't talk and do this at the same time. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We're good. And so anyway, his health was failing a little bit. And I thought, okay, I know this is sort of a quiet period of my life. And so what am I going to do? How am I going to handle this? And so I took up my hobby. And I'm so glad I did. Why is this kicking my butt all of a sudden? Did I do this one wrong? Oh, I cut the stripes different on this one. Son of a gun. That's all right. We'll see if we have enough. Okay, pay attention, Chandra. Got to do it the same way. And so I had some quiet time, a lot of quiet time. I couldn't really go anywhere for a little bit. And if I did, it was in short little trips because I knew I had to get home to check on him and everything. And I thought, I'm not going to sit here and wallow. I'm not going to sit here and have FOMO of like fear of missing out. I'm not like that. I'm going to fill my own cup. He's busy right now. He's got his own worries. I'm going to fill my own cup. And I thought, how can I fill my own cup? Because one thing I have learned, my friends, is that your happiness isn't anybody else's responsibility. It's up to you. And I thought, by golly, I'm going to feed a passion, like I said. And sewing, I was close by, and God love him, he was my biggest cheerleader in that. He'd say, honey, that's beautiful. You amaze me. I can't believe you made that. So it just felt like this thing in me of like, I wanted to surprise him and make him proud of what I was doing and what I was creating. And he died last year in July. And so through all this, sometimes in life you look back and you're like, oh, that prepared me for this. You don't know why you're going through certain things when you're going through certain things. But when you look back, it's like, wow, that time down here in my sewing room when I knew that, his health was failing and he couldn't get around, he was going to bed early and everything like that. That was a time where I was like, you know what? I have to do this and find peace right now and have sort of a quiet hibernation period. And it was good because then once he was gone, I found a lot of solace, a lot of comfort being down here in my little sewing world and creating. And it just helped me process a lot of thoughts, and it gave a lot of comfort. So if it's not sewing, okay, find what fills your cup, because you don't know what might come down your path. But when it does, you have to know how to content yourself and have a quiet moment of like, okay, I'm on my own here for a while. What am I going to do? Am I going to sit and wallow? I don't wallow. That's no fun. Nobody wants to wallower. So that's what I did. And ever since then, I was so looking forward to the winter because I knew once winter came, I didn't have the outside chores to do and stuff besides when it snowed, but I could just be here with my dogs and my sewing, and my family and friends could stop by or whatever. But in the meantime, every night when I came home, instead of coming home to an empty house of like, oh, gee, what am I going to do tonight all by myself? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create. I'm going to have some fun, put on music, put on an audiobook. I started listening to Euphoria, and I'm telling you what, that sounds like it could be getting really good. I just finished The Goddess of Warsaw. I don't know who came up with the audiobooks, but it's the best. I have my library card, and my library deals with Libby, which is an app, and you can download. Sometimes you have to wait for your books, but you can get your audiobooks for free. And then you get them on the list, you fill up as many as you can, like to put them on hold and everything. Sometimes I go straight to, like, there's filters of like what's available now, and I go for humor. I love a British mystery, murder mystery, like these old ladies running around town trying to solve mysteries. I love historic fiction and just learning little things that happened back in the past. So I'm going to sew my little bias tape. I'm going to attempt the piping. I'll let you know how I make out. Maybe I'll do a quick little short of how it's coming and how it turns out. And then easy peasy lemon squeezy, put it together and stuff it, and we have ourselves a bolster pillow. But I wanted to check in with you guys. Like I said, I hope you had a great weekend. I use today as, does anybody else do this? I do a Sunday reset. Like, I love to have my house clean. I love my laundry done. I love sort of an idea of what I'm going to cook for the week, make for lunches, take to work and stuff. And just, it's nice to put it all together so that I can hit the ground running on Monday. I highly recommend it. I try not to schedule a lot on Sundays because that's sort of my day of peace and my reset. But I'm so glad we get to talk again. I hope you have a great week coming up, and I'll keep you posted on how this turns out, okay? And send you some highlights. I'm really having fun doing this, guys. I hope you like it too. And y'all take care, okay?